What's going on YouTube? This is like take 1000. This is Archer Bluth. You'll generally see me popping up in the comment sections of the video, shitposting and arguing with other commenters about or topics covered by videos by certain content creators. It's just the ones that I watch anyways. But yeah, that's who I am. And today I have a doozy for you. I have what was long overdue, like a month overdue, and probably could have avoided a lot of these issues. And I take a huge issue with because it validates some of the points made in the origin, the origin of this ordeal. That sounds really nebulous, and I'm not going to be nebulous. I'm going to be pretty pointed. So let's get into it. Technology, left on the right-hand side. Yes, right-hand side. Sorry, I need a coffee. Content creator. There's not too much of her content that I really engage with. She's been, talked about a lot of the stuff that I just don't care about, like incels and outreach and the manosphere stuff. I don't really care about that stuff because I think people within manosphere are already stupid enough as it is. I like watching them get dunked on and destroyed, like Andrew Tate getting arrested and all that shit, yada, yada, yada. But beyond that, I just don't really care for it. I'm happily married, happy family. We don't, and I've never engaged in the toxic BS and the games that these guys try and push you to play as a young man. And young guys, if you watch this, don't do anything that Andrew Tate tells you to do within his videos. His posturing. Just be real with a girl. If you want to date, be real with anyone that you're pursuing. If you want to date them, they don't need to play any fucking games. And if they're with the shits, they're with the shits. If not, you move on to the next one. Simple as that. I should cover that. That's a segue. Anyways, she made a video, getting back to the point, Codology that is, made a video that critiqued the online left. And it had some reasonable critiques in it, some that I disagree with. The key one that I disagree with, and I wanted to make this a footnote in previous recordings, but I think it's best to lead with it, is the left doesn't have a hyperfixation on trans issues. So her criticism was the left is hyperfixated on the micro issue that is trans issues. And I don't think that's the case. I think a lot of leftist content creators will create videos that talk about incidents of encroachment on trans rights. That's very much being instigated by extremely conservative governments throughout the US. And I'm singling it out to the US because they're sort of like the online leftist hegemony. A large bulk of the content creators come from there. They focus on issues in the US. So it's only natural they'd focus on this issue. That's not a hyperfixation. That is just reporting the behavior as it is. Simple as that. Yeah? So I disagree with that first point. On that basis, it's not a hyperfixation. It is very much a community circling and circling around the trans community within it. I'm talking about online leftists here, to show support and try and get the message out that what's happening is wrong. That's perfectly reasonable in my eyes. The other criticism that I have is the right aren't all buddy-buddy. It's just true. You're not going to see Nick Fuentes in the same room as Ben Shapiro. They're both part of the right. Probably not even Steven Crowder. Even though they're amicable, they're not going to be like chumming up with one another all that much. So in so saying that, you need to understand that the right aren't necessarily concerned with being friends. They just have key points that are prerequisites for being conservative. One of those is just a hatred of poor people. The other one is a hatred of all minorities. And they will coalesce behind them. Simple as that. That's a very bastardized point of view, but it's kind of true. And you've seen that evidence by the beefs between Candace Owens, Stephen Crowder, and just really Stephen Crowder and the Daily Wire, as Stephen Crowder uses as a way to grift his audience. I guess that should cover that pretty well. Happy to have a chat about it, Kidology, if you are in the future. We'll see how we go. I've got 0 followers, so I have fuck all outreach. So I don't think it's going to happen. But anyways, back to the point. We've done the critique, and I've restacked that. I want to make this quick. Kidology also raised the point that the left likes to be cliquey and that the left has an outreach problem in that we prefer to build echo chambers and stay within those than we do outreach and actually bring people in coalition build. I think those are very valid criticisms. I agree with them. And in the lead up to this conversation, the actions taken by FD Signify, the content creator on the left, he validated those criticisms. And this is who this video is really geared towards. I've taken 6 minutes to get there, but this is my last recording before I upload it. I don't give a shit anymore. FD. From one person of color to you, another, you need to step your shit up. You need to be better. The fact that you essentially validated her argument, you skimmed over that argument too, which is the worst part of it, but you validated by holding a panel of 3 other people. I'm not going to name them because, actually I'll name one, Lua Professional Flowers, because as much as I disagree with them, Professor Flowers is with that shit. And Professor Flowers will get up on a adversarial content creators platform to argue their ideas. I disagree with those ideas, but at least they're willing to do it. And that takes a lot of courage. And what you engaged in with a panel critique, which didn't really address the criticisms and the points being made in the original video, that's cowardice. And like I said, happy to have this chat via DMs. If you want to take this private, I don't give a shit. But at the end of the day, my man, we can't be doing this. We're all in this shit together. There's studies out there that show, and this goes to a broader sense, show that de-radicalization of people from the alt-right, and even bringing people over from the left, it's not formulaic. It's not video essays or nothing. It's not debate bros or nothing. It's not leftist content creators like David Pakman and Sam Cedar reporting on the news or nothing. It's any or all of those approaches. So therefore, they're both or all as equal as one another in importance. And the fact that you want to point towards debate bros as an example and highlight the issues within that community whilst also engaging in toxic behavior yourself, that to a normie is very difficult to reconcile. And as a progressive for me, when I see that, that starts to become bad. It's pretty depressing to see we are on the brink of some really bad things happening in the US, and you're too focused on debate bros rather than tackling those issues. And like I said before, that espouses a level of cowardice to me that I think a lot of other people can see, that I would like you not to have. Because you're not an entertainer first, you are a leftist advocate first, whether you like it or not. And that means you need to be the best representation of the left you can be. And to be frank, people like Vosh are doing it. He may be a bit hyperbolic in statements. He may say some edgelordy shit, but he still believes in coalition building and bringing people over, and he applies that principle. People like Shark do it. A lot of debate bros actually do it. There are some problematic debate bros like Destiny, who I still think is progressive. He's just too much of a debate perv to be completely effective at what he does. A lot of these people are bringing people over. And to see the video essayist community, and not the whole video essayist, it's really just a few. yourself included, engaging in sectarianism instead of being above it all is problematic to me. So, my man, step it up. Step it up. Like, there are a lot of things I disagree with you, but there are a lot of things I agree with in a lot of the content you create. And I think you'd be great for the left in building an audience, especially touching into minorities as well. Because I know, like, I'm of West African descent. There are certain mindsets of West Africans that can be viewed as conservative to many, but I think they can be changed. And yeah, look, like I said, man, like, just step your shit up, please, for the movement as a whole. Last video I did was like 17 and a half minutes of recording. I want to cut it short, and I think this is probably as short as I'm going to be able to get it. So if you watch the full 10 odd minutes, big ups to you. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I might make more content like this, but I figured I just wanted to get my ideas out here, or thoughts anyways. Like, this was an hour and a half original video turned into 8 hours of additional content, which to me is unacceptable. And I'm probably not isolated in that thought. So yeah, feel free to comment, get at me, FD, like I said. Always happy to have this chat. I'm probably never going to show up on your radar, even if I tag you in this, which I probably will. But I wish you all the best, and I hope you get better. Like, be better, you know what I mean? And be a better advocate for leftist ideals, and ambassador for it. And yeah, let's go out there and keep up the good fight, yeah? Catch you guys later. See you.